All right, guys, it's the end of August here, and we're getting prepped for harvest, trying to get everything ready. Corn's actually dying off super quick here. Got a lot of disease pressure rolling in, so I think harvest is gonna come super quick here. So Spencer and I, we need to install a water line. There's a water connection that was made back in March, and we just gotta dig the water line and install it so we can get actually water to this shed. So first things first, we're gonna knock out that water line here.
Then this is where we are hooking up to. So there's the water meter there. That's where you can turn the water on. Rural water running in the ditch. Everything's flagged off. We might find some old electric line or just stuff that is unplugged and not working, because I'm gonna try and shoot for 5-foot depth here. So about right here, there's a stub PVC 1-inch that we're gonna hook up to, and then we're gonna do 1-inch poly all the way, bend around the bend to the shed. And then I measured this off. It is 293 feet. I have a 300-foot roll of 1-inch poly pipe, so hopefully we make it. So this is the stub coming out from the meter right here, where they buried at 5 feet, so we'll carry that. So this is the water coming in, is like the water table. I had to dig deep right here because it was pooling up over our stub, and I want to keep that dry. So I'm gonna let all the water funnel down in here. Right now they just put a cap on it, and then we're gonna put a little barb adapter to go to our poly. All right, here is a little update. If anybody's out of power, let me know. We found some colorful roots. There's a water line down there. I got it fed through here. We made it to the building. That's where we are gonna have the hydrant sticking up. I mocked it up. We have about 2 or 3 feet to spare, so I got lucky with my estimates. We found, I don't know what that would be. Gas line, water line. It's only buried like a foot deep. There's another water line actually at 5 feet. So a lot of this area used to be, there was like a hog confinement here, feed lot, multiple bins. Ran into all that back there, then up here. As you can tell, we got water sitting and running. That's just the water table. And then right around here, found 3 of the just lines to fill up like an LP tank. I found quite a bit of rocks as we went. So it was a good thing, a trencher would have been nice, but we would have hit a lot of stuff. So this is poly pipe, 1-inch. You're supposed to heat it up and then slide it on. So Grant, you wanna hold this? Come on. It's like it isn't right for it. It's like it's not even close. Maybe I gotta heat it up a lot more. Can you give me something metal to ream it out a little more? Maybe that's not the proper way to do it too. No, it's not gonna work. It got too hot and twist. Here's a little update on the project. Sun is going down. It took a while to just make the trench in general. Points had to stop. So we did do a pressure test, and this doesn't look that pretty. You gotta heat up the poly and go over a big barb. And this held, but the first connection we made, that broke. And I think I know why. So we're gonna go redo that connection. All right, here's the situation. So this is our PVC coming out of the meter, and I used a plastic little barb here, and you get this poly so hot that it actually melted this barb, and then the thing flew off. So we're gonna cut this back, get these off here. We're gonna change this to brass. Ah, it collapsed. Dude, that's nuts. All right, we're back here the next morning. We couldn't finish making our connection. We just made the connection now. Our hole is pretty full of water too, and we're doing a pressure test. So close it. And then here's how these frost freeze ones work. So all the water is draining out the bottom of the hole. That's how it doesn't freeze in the winter. So pressure test, we have a drip. Right there. It's leaking. It's dripping. All right, a couple hours later from the last clip, we got everything connected, pressure tested, let it sit for 30 minutes, no leaks, everything is right. Just getting those 1-inch poly, that 1-inch poly pipe, and then it's 250 PSI pipe, so it's pretty rigid and not very flexible. You gotta get it over those barbs. It's tough. And then I figured out that you actually don't want, we were using that big propane torch, you actually want something with less heat and it gets more even. So we got it here, backfilled. There is water. So, sweet, it's freeze-proof one, Woodford, Iowa, the ones, I think they said that this came out in like 1912 and it's the same thing. So if anything goes wrong with it, you can change everything out without having to dig. So
we got the water line in, it's working, there's no leaks and everything's working good. So we got a bunch of equipment that hasn't been washed all summer. So we're gonna try and wash off the sprayer, the combine, a couple tractors, get that washed. And then Spencer actually went and picked up a used pair of Devestators on Facebook for a 6-row corn head. He's been watching videos, he's got a plan in his head of how to install those, and we're gonna try and get those Devestators installed. Basically, it'll just destroy that corn stalk, make it super smooth, and make any type of tillage or no-till work a lot better, I think, is the goal. So, first time trying them, we're gonna see how they do. So we got the combine pulled in. It can't fit in this shed, but it's nice. Pulls over far enough to where we can be on concrete, at least when we're installing these. Used pair of Devestators. Spencer's got her all laid out. Basically, we got 3 rows on one of these and then another 3 rows on the other. And this is these are probably worn a little bit, but they're used. So this is gonna come by and just crimp the stock, which should be kind of nice. So, Spence, any thoughts?
They were pulled off another 6-row combine, and then we can just slide them to make sure they're aligned. Pretty simple. It'll be nice to have these if you're gonna no-till beans in the corn stalks, or just, yeah, any tillage should. The idea is break down your corn stalks faster, and then save on, I guess, wear and tear on your tires too, because you don't have those monster stalks that are a foot tall. They're like tree trunks, so that's the idea.
Perfect. Let's get installing these. Okay, a little update. We got the mounting brackets on here, mounted. There's 4 of them with the help of our neighbor Mark, because me and Spencer weren't able to get them by ourselves. It's just awkward holding one of them up there. So we got those up there. We're gonna tighten them down. Then we're gonna put the bars on and then the rollers. And then this should work. Getting excited to, gonna be excited to use it and test it out.
All right, we got the rollers installed here. We're gonna do a little test. First thing we gotta do, take off the little safety. There we go. Everything's connected. And then, yeah, so that's what it looks like. Two brackets will hold 3 rows. Here's the rows, spikes are aligned, bearing there, everything else is mechanical. And then we got our spring tensioned, how the book said to do it. These are used ones. I don't know, 3,000-4,000 acres on them. New bearings recently, so. Neighbor here just had seed corn harvested. They're spreading oats right now and then working them in with a VT. We thought it'd be funny to see how it goes on the seed corn stalks. Get a real test right here next to the shop and see how these rollers are gonna work. We have to run the head so then it senses the ground. So we have to run the combine. So here's what the stalks look like right now. And we're just trying to smash them. Pretty cool. So then it's already broken off there. I don't see two. I think we can always increase the tension on the spring. There's a crimp, right? There's another crimp. So that's what stand-in looks like. And of course, this is just 4 rows that we're doing here. I thought it would crimp it a little more because this is still pretty solid. There's pressure on it for sure. And it's laying it down. There it cut it. There's a crimp in it. And sometimes it's actually busting out the root ball too. And there it's breaking it. I think they struggle a little bit if the ground's really wet and you get into muddy stuff. Cool, everything's working. There we go. That's what you want to see, it breaking off like that, or at least snapping it, exposing it, so then it starts to break down. So this is what the neighbor's spreading. A little oat there. And then they're working it in with the VT, so plenty of time for it to grow. It's just the beginning of September now.
Okay, so we tested out the Devestators, and that was a seed corn field we tested it out in, which is weaker stocks. They've been harvested for like a week. So we'll definitely, especially if we get into some green corn, some higher quality corn, those stocks will be a lot stronger, but seem to work pretty good. We're gonna get harvesting tomorrow and get rolling with that. And then we got, I got a grain trailer, but I don't have a semi bought yet, and I don't have a grain cart bought yet. I'm trying to get those 2 bought here. So I was been on auction, lost one on auction, grain cart. So we'll get those bought and then really get going.
And so here's when we got the semi-trailer delivered that Grant bought. It's a 2013 Wilson, and it has like aluminum frame, so it runs a bit lighter. You can fit more in it. And then our neighbor brought it over with his semi to put it in our storage. Then like Grant mentioned, we still need to buy our own semi to run this trailer, obviously. And then we're looking for a grain cart as well.
But we're gonna try some corn with the wagons. We're at the co-op that's a mile away. We'll just run wagons for the first day here and get rolling and see how she does.